Hi, we're out here and it's June the 8th and I'm starting you out in front of the house. This is the rose Glocca in bloom, and as you can see as I pan away from it here, the blooms are very small and insignificant, but as you can also see, they produce a really nice picture on the side of the green wall of the house. And when we get into them actually producing the lovely rose hips, will come back this way again. So now we're going to walk to the east garden. We'll come down this way and take in some of the sights as we go. There's some columbines over the edge here that we're going to have to walk through, but we're going to go in here and I'll show you some of the blooms that are happening in the east garden nowadays. We've got some lovely roses blooming on the far wall. Well, hopefully that brings them into focus for you. But I want to show you some of these daylilies. This one's one of my favorites. Beautiful pink one. Really nice. And this whole back garden will be full of them, including red ones, which are coming up right now. So a little later on we'll get some pictures of those. But we have some really nice red Asiatic lilies down here that have just beautiful color to them. And some yellow ones over there behind, let me step in a little further, behind the actual Stella Dora daylilies that are there as well. And then you've still got the lovely spiderwort over there that's in its purple. And the view out toward the garden, you can see that the red twig dogwood is coming up very nicely. And now, if I back up here a little bit and get in the shade so you can see it, we also have a nice spread on the clerodendron tree. That's the one that smells like peanut butter, and it also has a really nice umbrella spread to it, as you can see. Very, very nice coverage for the shade. We'll walk around this way and see if we can see how the plums are developing. Let's see if we can get a glimpse of them. I have to spot one first. There's one there. Let's see if I can get it in the camera focus. There we are, right there. But there's a group of them, of 3, up here further. I always like to keep an eye on them. Ah, there's a really big one right in there. Can you see that one? Hopefully I'm getting it for you. Okay. And the flags are done. But we'll walk down this way. I have made a drastic decision in the garden. I'm going to take out the cherry tree next week or the week after. It doesn't seem to give us very many cherries, and the problem is that it has an extreme case of aphids, black aphids, that I can't seem to get rid of without spraying, and I really, really dislike spraying. So, not going to do that. I'm going to give up the tree instead. As you can see, the apple over here, which is like taking up all of the space in the world, will make up for it and fill it in the area. And I've also decided, Dad has decided, that he does not want a vegetable garden anymore. So we have these 4 very nice blueberry bushes that I showed you before. We're going to take down both of those back beds, and we're going to instead put more blueberry bushes there because Dad and I both really, really love blueberries. So we'll expand the beds and things will look a little bit better. I had Amos clear out this area down at the base of the cedar tree. The squirrels live in the cedar tree. And I'm going to put a kind of a dish on top of that foundation there, and we're going to make another little bird bath for the birds and the squirrels. Let's look back here, go back here, and look at the grapes. As you can see, I got rid of all of that glass that was here that we were using for cold storage type things. Let's see, there's some really nice ones right there. Let me bring it into focus for you. There you go. Got some good groups of them this year. Let's see if I can get some of those in there, some more of them. You can see that they're doing really well. Good, healthy bushes this year. None of the wilt that we had before or anything like that. So that's good. We're looking back this way toward the garden. As you can see, the daylilies are starting to bloom. Those early ones, the orange ones, are old heritage daylilies. And I also pruned back, or trimmed I should say, dead-headed the peonies, and we'll have a second smaller bloom on those. Let's walk back this way. Oh, and we'll also look at the blueberries that are down there on the bush. Look at that. Aren't we loaded? We're going to have some in no time at all. Stelladora daylilies here in this garden as well. It's a really nice sunshiny day. I can't hardly see what I'm taking a picture of, but there's the pinks, the things I told you before that smell really nice and spicy. I love them. Relative of the carnation. And the Polish spirit the clematis is climbing up over the roof there. You can see it in full bloom. It's doing really well. And pretty soon the sweet peas here on the trellis will be blooming. We need to tuck some back here. Here, you can help me do it. We'll put him right in there in that little hole, and he'll just stick back there, hopefully. We can get him behind one of these other limbs to hold him in place. So, oh well, we'll do that later. One of the things I wanted to talk about was, that I haven't talked about before, are these wonderful watering barrels that Dad made. They're actually food storable type barrels. Dad got them from a local feed and seed store that got them from the local Fred Meyer, which is a Kruger's if you live in another part of the country, which is a human food place, and they usually have oil in them for, I assume, their delis where they deep bathe things and that sort of stuff. So the nice thing about them is that you just have to clean them out really good, and then Dad set them up with the spigots and everything so that that hose at the bottom goes all the way across over here and down here, and it can go to his main garden. And it's amazing that one good snowfall, oh, here comes the sirens. Okay, they're going away. One good snowfall, or one good rainfall on the roof will fill them up, which is really nice. This little plant down here, that's kind of a chartreuse, that's Feverfew. The Indians used to use that in order to reduce fever. You brew a tea out of it. The Love in the Midst here is doing very nicely. And you can see how those pods have continued to form, and they'll get even more blue as they go along. I'm tilting here to see where my thing is. Okay, and then we've got the daylilies coming up here. As you can see, they're beginning to bloom. These are the early bloomers. I'm going to take you back to see this one in the back, because I bought this one specifically because it has my name. It's called the Theresa lily. And look at that, a big, beautiful yellow one. Isn't that pretty? And then there's one of my favorites down here. Let me see if I can get to one side so you can see it. Is this red one. It'll bloom all out through here as well. And we'll have lots of other colors. Let's look at one of these orange ones up close. Those are the old heritage ones from the old farm that I told you about. And the zebra grass is doing really well. Look at that. And look how well, let's back up here a little bit so you can get the full benefit of the look-away view here. But look at our corkscrew willow. You would hardly think that it had ever been topped. It's almost as tall as the storage building behind it, as I promised you. And now it's only June the 6th, so you know it's going to grow at least twice as big. So let's see, we cleared the path yesterday, Amos and I, so that you could see where our little Asian path is. And let's go over here and look at the Campagna Law. They're a kind of a bellflower. Let's get it down here. And they droop over. Hummingbirds really like them. We took out quite a few so that the actual plants behind them, those really wide-limbed plants, those are some more of those Lucifer crocosmia, which the hummingbirds just absolutely love. And there's a lot of them over here. And there will be some more daylilies here. These will be purple in this area. That fern underneath that step is getting really carried away. I think I'm going to have to get it out of there and put it somewhere else where it can be happy so that we can use those steps, because it's definitely getting in the way. And let's go this way. Oh, I was going to show you something here. I saved this as a demonstration. Remember me talking about these Mexican feather grasses and how nice they are? I pulled up some of them the other day because they were kind of in the way of the walkway. So I wanted to show you that here's a little one that I left. I'm going to get down here. Hopefully my hand isn't too much in the shade. Let's see if I can get around here so you can see it. Anyway, and here's how easy they are to pull up. Watch. See? All up, all done, all gone, all roots. So if you want to plant these Mexican feather grasses, which look at this one beside the Moroccan room, it's just beautiful. You don't have to worry about it, because if they do plant themselves, they're going to once again always let you pull them up. So we're going to go, we can take one back look here of the garden, right behind the pond. Pond is doing really well here. Birds are liking it and enjoying it. And a glance back there toward Dad's garden bed in the area. And then let's come around here, and let's go back here and see the columbines are starting to finally begin to give up the ghost a little bit, although they are just lasting far longer than they ever have in the past. They're just really outdoing themselves this year. Dr. Ruppel's finished with his first bloom, but he'll be coming on soon with his second. We got some of the lawn art out. We've got our little fairy down here. Well, there's really a group of fairies in the grass there, if you can see them, and the little young lady looking at them from her point of view. And then the corydalus is doing well. These crocosmias will be orange, and they'll be blooming here soon. And the lady underneath the tree is doing well. She has flowers at her feet, the hardy geranium, and those hardy fuchsias back there in the back. I don't know if you can see in the really back, toward the back there on the left-hand corner of the screen, you can see that they're actually going to start to bloom here soon. Ferns are doing great. We actually, I don't do much spraying, but we actually sprayed this walkway here, all of this area with the stone, so that we could get rid of some of those little bitty pieces of grass. This is my fire pit that I put out, and I have this lid for it because in Oregon it rains a lot, so you don't want to get your fire pit full of water and then have to dump out the sand that's in the bottom of it, yada yada yada. So this summer my thoughts are to do another, well, a kind of a redone lid of this. I'm going to take off that rope edging that's already starting to come off. I'm going to put an edging on it, and I'm going to do it with little glass beads and then pour resin over it. And it'll end up being something that we can use as a tabletop when we're not using it as a actual fire pit. Put that in the laundry. Let's see. Now, we also trimmed some of the willow back, and the reason is because we want this rose of Sharon bush right here to get enough light that it will bloom. So you see that we left a little patch there where it can get some indirect sunlight, it'll be fine with that. And we have a lot of willow back there in the back that we didn't have room for the debris barrel, so we're going to have to get those taken care of. But that gives you a little lay of the land. And then look, we can see in Morocco now. Now Morocco isn't finished. I mean, not fully put together yet, and it will be here shortly. And I figured that I would maybe make a special little thing for it, a little video for it to show it off. But you can see, oh, and there's Jewel. She loves the outdoors. You can see that it's quite a special place. And I want you to all to see it when it is special. So I'm going to wait, do a whole little take on it and show it to you in the night as well as the day, because at nighttime there's all kinds of beautiful little lights up there in that canopy of material above. And it makes it very special and very magical. So, for now, we're going to sign off. And we're going to give you one last look back here toward the garden. Going to come back down here so you can see how our garden grows. And once again, thank you for visiting our quiet corner. And we will continue later on toward the end of this month. Well, probably mid-month, because around Father's Day is when all those daylilies bloom, and I want to show them to you in all their glory. Have a really great time. Oh, there's a birdie going to take a bath for us. Isn't that sweet? Well, maybe just a drink. All right. Bye-bye. Take care.